So the very first topic, students, that we are going to study today, it's binary addition. And binary addition is one of the fundamental operations which are done in computers. And you will be surprised to know the binary addition is the only operation which is known by computer. Apart from knowing binary addition, a computer does not know any other thing. Now you must be surprised, like if it doesn't know addition, then how it handles multiplication, subtractions, divisions, power, exponent, logics, and many other things. So somehow every operation is dependent on binary addition. If computer has to do a plus, it does binary addition. If it has to do a minus, it uses 1s complement of binary addition and then get the subtraction. If it has to multiply, then it uses a repeated addition. If it has to divide, then it will be doing a repeated subtraction. And again, a repeated subtraction, it means it is using 1s complement method addition for doing subtraction. So basically everything is addition inside computer. And using addition, it performs all the rules, all the things. So prior to knowing additions, we need to know rule of the additions. So we will just summarize the rules which are very fundamental to binary addition. And when you are adding something, we need to understand either we will be adding 0 with a 1. Second case may happen that you are trying to add 1 with a 0. Third case, it may happen you are trying to add a 0 with a 0. And fourth case will be when you are trying to add 1 with a 1. Now, we will compare it normal situations where we are doing in decimal, and then we'll be also learning the binaries. When I am adding 0 and 1 in decimal, my answer is 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. And when you are adding a binary 0 with a binary 1, then also the addition is 1. Same. Nothing is very different or fancy here. When you are adding a 1 with a 0, again in decimal it is also 1, and in binary also it is 1. Again, alike, the decimal operation, binary operation, they are same here in this regard. When you are adding a 0 with a 0, then 0 plus 0 in decimal is 0. Binary 0 added with a binary 0 in binary will give me a binary 0. So three cases, the decimal operation or decimal result is same as the binary result. Fourth cases, when you are adding a 1 with a 1, then you will be getting a 2 here. When I add 1 along with another one in decimal, then I'll be getting a 2 here. Now in binary, I'll be getting a answer as 0 and a carry as 1. This is the result part. And this is the carry part. What is a carry? Suppose when you are adding 7 plus 8, what is happening? 7 plus 8 is 15. Say you write 5 here and you take out the carry on this side and then you write 15. If there is another number, say 2 is written here, then you will add this carry with this 2 and your answer will be 35. Same way it is built here also. When I am adding a binary 1 with another 1, then my answer will be 0 with a carry 1 here. I will write a carry here. Now, one more case we will understand. When I am trying to add 3 ones together, then what are the situation? In that case, I get a answer 3, and here I get 1 as result and 1 as carry. Now you see here, this decimal it is written as 10. This 3 decimal in binary is written as 11. Now using this table, using this summary of rules, it is very easy to do the binary additions. 0 plus 1 will be binary 1. 1 plus 0 will be binary 1. 0 plus 0 will be binary 0. 1 plus 1 will be 0 with a carry 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 will be a 1 with a carry 1. So using these rules, now we will try to understand how we can do binary additions. Now here same rules are listed. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. And 1 plus 1 is 1, 0. 1 plus 1 is 1, 1. So now we will apply these rules. See, first question is 1, 1, 1, 1 and 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. I am having 1, 1, 1, 1. And second number is 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Whenever you are writing the second number, always start from the right end. First you write the rightmost digit. 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Now you add 1 plus 1 is a 0 with a carry 1. Write the carry here. Now 3 ones are there. 1 plus 1 plus 1. We know that is a 1 with a carry 1. Now 1 plus 1 plus 0. So 2 ones are there with a 0. This is a 0 with a carry 1. 3 ones are here. So it is a 1 with a carry 1. 2 ones are here. 1 with a, 0 with a carry 1. So my result will be 101 and 010. This is the result. Another way of doing it, I will write the decimal equivalent of this number. This is 15. I will also write the decimal equivalent of this number. This is 27. Add them together, 42. Convert that into binary and write it here. So suppose you are not sure about the binary rules. You are not very confident or comfortable with binaries, but you know how to change them into decimals or binary. So whatever number is given to you, you will convert that number into equivalent decimal number and then utilize them for your calculation, your operation, and again convert back into binary. Let us see few more examples. Add binary and these numbers we have to add. So again, first you write the first number 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Second number start from right hand. 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 0. Now do the calculation. 1 plus 1 will be 0 with a carry 1. Now this one and this one, 1 plus 1 again is 0 with a carry 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1, it will be a 1 with a carry 1. 1, 0, 0, 1. 1 plus 1 is 0 with a carry 1. 1 plus 1 is a 0 with a carry 1. 1 plus 1 is a 0 with a carry 1. And 1, 0, 0 is 1. So this is my answer. 1 followed by 3 zeros. Then 1, 1 followed by 2 zeros. Now, after learning the binary addition, students, we are going to learn about character and string representation. We have seen that everything that we are dealing inside a computer or whenever we are working with a computer, we are seeing things in normal English or whatever language you want to utilize, you can utilize. But how computer handles numbers, they are very easy. They can get transformed in binary language and then we can utilize. But what about different symbols? What about different letters which are there in different type of languages? So for that, we utilize character and string encodings. There are different encoding schemes that we utilize to change a number or a symbol into equivalent binary digits. And there are different type of encoding schemes that I may utilize. We can utilize ASCII, we can utilize Unicode, we can utilize ISCII, ISCII. So all of them, what they do, an encoding scheme is a predetermined set of code for each recognized letter, number, and symbol. All the letters, all the symbols, numbers that we are utilizing in any languages or any dialect, they're predefined. That if you want to write dollar, how it will be translated into binary. If you want to write, say, delta, which is a mathematical symbol, how it will be translated into binary. If you want to say enter a dot, how will be entered? Question marks, space, how they will be inserted. So for that, we utilize different coding schemes and do our task. So very first coding scheme that we are going to learn, it is called ASCII code. And ASCII is a short form for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. See, very simple to understand what exactly it does. It is American Standard. This code, it is American Standard, developed in America, taken as a standard also worldwide. It is also a code. Code for what? For interchange of information. So if you are giving a number, it is interchanging it into equivalent decimal code. If you are giving a symbol, it is changing it into equivalent decimal code. So this ASCII code, it is a 7-bit code. So it will accommodate 2 to the power 7 possible combinations or symbols. Why or how? See, if there are 7 bits, I'm saying that in ASCII, everything will be represented using 7 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Bit number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since we are dealing with a binary number, for any bit, whether you are talking about bit number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, there are only 2 possible cases. Either you will store a 1 or you will store a 0. So for every bit, 2 options are there, 2 possibilities are there. So using a simple probability or permutation and combination formula, I know that total possible cases are 2 into 2 into 2 into 7 times, which is equal to 2 to the power 7. So if you are using a n-bit coding, for any n-bit coding scheme, there are 2 to the power n possible combinations or symbols that can be entered. So ASCII is 7-bit code, so you can enter 128, 2 to the power 7 possible code groups. And basically it is more than sufficient. In English, we are having 26 letters, numbers are 10, some more symbols are there. So it is quite big space to enter all the characters. So this is a ASCII representation of all the numbers. For character A, how we are representing in ASCII 7-bit, it is represented as 100001. In decimal, it is 65. Octal, it is 101. Hexadecimal, the code is 41. So whenever you are typing A from your keyboard, you are entering this data. Whenever you are typing G, you are entering this data. It is going in the form of signals. If you are typing a number, suppose number 9 is entered, then you are entering this data. So in this way, all the data are entered. After ASCII 7, we are also having ASCII 8. See, one example is given here. Some codes are given and they are asking what messages it is. So we'll have to first find out this code, where exactly I can find out. So this is code for hexadecimal equivalent 48, 45, 4C and 50. And 48 is H, 45 is E, 4C is L and 50 is P. So if you are entering this data, it means you want to type the word hell. Suppose in a computer you are writing this program. So how it will be given? Locate the character, each character including the space in table 2.7, record its ASCII code. So for G, this is the ASCII code. For O, this is ASCII code. T, this is the ASCII code. O, this is the ASCII code. For space, this is the code. 25, these are the code. So using this code, if you are writing go to space 25, in computer, you are entering this data and not this data. This data is for our understanding. This is data for our internal computer working. Next one, apart from having ASCII 7, we are also having a new version which is called ASCII 8. And basically it is nothing but we are increasing the number of bits to represent a character. In ASCII 7 we are having 7-bit representation. In ASCII 8 we are having 8-bit representation, and total number of character is 2 to the power 8, which is 256. In this one, in ASCII 8 I can enter 256 different symbols or characters. Next is ISCII, which is Indian script code for information interchange. Nowadays, you have seen that India is growing in terms of IT and software engineering processes. So what we are trying to achieve here, that apart from natural English or apart from English and many other international languages, Indian languages, they also find their ways in computing or digital space. So for that, Indian government and various scientific organizations which are there in India, they have come up with ISCI code, which is Indian script code for information interchange. This is a 8-bit code and can represent 256 characters. It can represent all the ASCII characters and also represent Indian scripts. Now to internationalize it, they are also using IBM companies using for PC DOS based computer. Apple is using for ILK based computer, and there are many other companies which are using it. Whatever companies, if they want to make their apps, make their software successful in India, services successful in India, they want to provide their services in multiple languages. Now you see that Amazon, we see the ads now. Amazon, you can buy things in your Indian languages also, in Hindi, in Marathi, in Odia maybe. So how it is happening? So internally they are changing the symbols or codings and using ISCI codes. Then they are able to represent everything in native languages. Even the offices like Election Commission or the land record projects, they are also utilizing this same code, so that we utilize it on a very mass scale and it becomes popular. Apart from that, we are also utilizing it to Devanagari script, Gurmukhi, Gujarati, Odia, Bengali, Assamese, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, and Tamil scripts. This ISCI code is being utilized. So it is a 8-bit code. It is can represent 256 characters. It retains all the ASCII characters plus all the Indian languages symbols are there. So very important for benefit of IT industry in India. Next one is Unicode. See, prior to Unicode, there were several different codes were there. There were ASCII, there were ISCI, there were EBCDCI, there were BCD. So many different codes were there. But the scientists all over the world, they were trying to find out a universal code where everything can be represented. Whichever languages are there, whichever dialects are there, not only in India, in all over the world, they want to include it in a single character set. So for that, they started using Unicode, universal coding, and it is developed as universal character set. Now, universal character set, what are the benefits? So everything that you needed to writing from majority of non-languages in use for computer is in one place. Everything it is at one single place, and it is superset of all characters to be encoded. To whichever whatever encoding scheme you are utilizing does not matter. Whichever language you are utilizing does not matter. You can use Unicode and you can get your symbols there to utilize in computer. So if you are using Unicode, there is no need for any other coding scheme. Now we will understand two terminologies which are related with codings. First one is coding space. It is possible combination, total possible combination inside a coding scheme. For ASCII, it will be 0 to 127. From 0 to 127. So this is its code space. It can represent from 0 to 127. If you talk about ASCII 8, it will represent 1 to 255. If you talk about ASCII 0 to 255, so this is their code space, possible numbers that it can represent. Now, what is a code point? It is total number of values that it can represent. It refers to a code that represents a single character. So how many codes are there in ASCII? In ASCII, there are total 128 codes, which start from 0 and it goes up to 127, total 128. For ASCII and other thing, we are having 256 code points. So remember that code space is 2 to the power n minus 1, code point is 2 to the power n, always, for a n bit of number. So Unicode encoding scheme, they come in different flavors. We can have UTF-8, we can have UTF-16, we can have UTF-32. UTF means Unicode Transformation Format. So this is basically the Unicode representation of code either in 8-bit of representation, 16-bit of representation, and 32-bit of representation. In Unicode 8, we can use 6 octets maximum, or we can use up to 4 octets minimum to represent a number. So if your machine, if it is a 32-bit machine and you want your number to be represented in a 32-bit system, so you can use a 4-octet system. If you want to use a bigger number, you can use a 6-octet system. And if you need a smaller number system, so you can use a single octet, double octet, triple octet system. So Unicode 8 format, UTF-8, it always represents numbers in the form of formats, octets. So UTF-8, each code is called an octet, and it can have 1 to 6 octets to represent a number. So if you are using a number which is in UTF-8, you can either represent them in 8-bit or 16 or 24-bit. See here, the entire thing is summarized. For 0 to 127, I can use one single octet because 8-bit is insufficient for representing them. If your numbers are 128 to 2047, you can use 16-bit or 2 octets. From 2048 to 65535, 3 octets or 24-bit. For rest of it, 4 octet or 32 bits. Now the last part is UTF-32. Here it is a fixed coding scheme where a code is always written in a 4-byte representation. Always we will write 4 bytes of representation. Suppose you want to represent this 24 and the respective code is this one 00001, 001 and 00. So this is only 8-bit. So rest 16 bits or rest 24 bit will be added with 0. See, this is the bit that I represented, same thing. Rest I have added 0 in the beginning, so that now it is a 4-byte representation. Same way, if you want to represent 20 AC, then this is the representation, and this part is the representation up to 14-bit. Rest, all the bits are added with 0. Now to insert a text in the word processor, we can simply go to insert tab, click on symbols, and from here you will get the options what kind of symbols you want to insert, and then select a particular symbol and click on insert. That symbol will be inserted in your document and you can utilize it. So that's it from this chapter, student. Go through it, and if there will be any doubts, you can inquire me later.